All right, we're just gonna get rolling here and get what we can do here. Welcome. Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna just take a moment. Those of you who were here for the last hour, thank you so much for being part of the taping of the Fab Fourum episode. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for joining us here on the Pier stage. My name is Tony Triguardo. I'm part of this group of four lunatics who call themselves the Fab Fourum, F-O-U-R-U-M. We do a weekly podcast. And you can catch us, anyone here have iTunes? You can catch us on iTunes. You can catch us on a company called Potorama.com. And if you just do a Google search for that, Fab Fourum with the F-O-U-R-U-M, you will find us. We've been doing this about a year or so. And we've had some great guests and had a lot of fun. And today is an honor. We're very happy to be doing this. I just want to basically start by saying I had the pleasure of meeting this gentleman a number of years ago, our very special guest, and the very special guest of Abbey Road on the River. And I also want to say we talked about things that Apple Records should be releasing. This was our episode that we just taped. We said, what should Apple Records put out in the future in its entirety? Well, hey, you know one thing we left out? There was this recording session that was done, let's see, back in January of 1962 for Decca Records. Anybody familiar with that? What happened on that day? There you go. Well, how about if they put that out? And that would be a lot of fun because we would get to hear in its entirety the work of our very special guest today. Please welcome to Fab Fourum, Mr. Pete Best.
One thing you can do for me just to get everyone in the right mood, okay? So I want you to put your hands out like that. Okay, start shaking them. And then go num 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 num.
Come on, let's hear it. You sound like a bunch of wasps. Now we can say everybody's buzzing.
Now you talk my language.
All right, well, we've gotten the num-nums out of the way, which is a good thing. I feel very numb. I'm going to be moderating today's episode of our show, and welcome, Pete, to this insanity. And joining us again, Mr. Rob Leonard on my far right, Mr. Mitch Axelrod, and Mr. Ken Michaels, and
my wife.
And Pete, welcome to the show.
And you're Tony Triguardo, don't you?
And I'm Tony Triguardo, yes. I forgot about that. We're going to be, tomorrow we're actually going to be kind of covering more general ground. And we're going to be here tomorrow talking about, you know, everything across the board from your history with the group. And
sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it does sound dangerous, doesn't it? But for today we're going to focus on that day, the Decca auditions. Now, Decca Records. Decca Records was a label in England, and essentially at this time, a gentleman named Brian Epstein was already involved with you guys, right?
Right, yeah. Brian was he'd taken over officially as manager in October of '61. Our challenge to him was to get us an English recording contract. Decca at that time was the biggest record company in England, next to EMI. And it was very much a case of Mike Smith, who was the A&R guy, he came down to the Cabin in Liverpool, saw us performing at a dinner time session as we played for the office workers, and liked what he saw. And the date was set to do an audition with Decca, Jan 1, 1962, New Year's Day. Little did we know, right, that there was going to be etched in stone. But Brian, because we drove down there on New Year's Eve, we got into London. And Brian, before we actually went down, turned around and said, look, this is the biggest record audition in your life, right? It's New Year's Eve, go to bed early, drink your chocolate, get up early in the morning, right? So we said, of course, Brian, you know, we won't be celebrating.
How old were you at this point?
2 o'clock in the morning, right in Trafalgar Square. There were 4 piss-arsed beastles running around like lunatics, right? And we had the audition at 10 o'clock. We were late for the audition. Right? By this time, what Brian had left, he'd torn out. And we were fortunate in a way because Mike Smith was the A&R man. Well, we'd been on one side of Trafalgar Square getting drunk. Mike had been on the other side of Trafalgar Square getting drunk. So he got there late and he saved our bacon, right? But we eventually got the audition under.
Let me take you back just a little bit. There was a movie out in 1979, a Dick Clark production. I believe you were technical advisor on.
I believe so, yes. Yeah.
And that portrayed Brian as being really, he hit the pavement every day trying to find you guys this recording contract. And he was very, he came in, oh guys, I'm really sorry. And John, would give him grief for not getting a contract. Was that really the way it was? Brian every day was hitting the pavement?
Yeah, because, it was very much a case. Decca, we thought we had it in the back, right? After the audition, it was very much a case. Mike Smith gave us the unofficial wink, you got the contract. So we went out and celebrated. Little did we know that we hadn't got the contract. But what had happened is Brian, as well as Decca, I suppose he was making sure, right? He was approaching other companies as well. And when Decca actually turned us down in favour of Brian Poole and the Trembles, he had to start all over again, and that's why he was knocking on doors. He was going around London, he was getting very desperate until EMI, George Martin, threw us a curveball, and we managed to have an audition and get a contract with EMI.
Right. Then just to separate myth from reality for a moment, there was this story for years and years that the people from Decca had sent a notice saying that groups with guitars are on their way out. Was that really what it was?
Where are the tremolos now, though?
Yeah, there you go. The Tremolo Fest is the
Poor old Dick Rowe was the head of Decca at that time. He had a lot to blame, right? But when we talked to Mike Smith, it was funny actually because everyone turned around and says it was Dick Rowe who actually basically turned the Beatles down from Decca. Right? It wasn't. It was Mike, right? Wow. And he kept that under wraps for many, many, many years. Wow. And we did an interview with Mike and he turned around and said, Pete, he said, look, let's put a little bit of history straight. And that's why I'm mentioning it today, because it is a piece of history which needs to be rectified. Brian Poole and the Tremolos were Mike Smith's favourite band in London. Right? They did a lot of work for Decca, unofficially, right? So the choice was between the Beatles and getting Brian Poole and the Tremolos a contract. And when Dick Rowe turned around and said, I'm not making that decision, you make the decision, right? Mike Smith picked Brian Poole and the Tremolos instead of the Beatles. So we kept that quiet for many, many years. Right?
Wow. I learned something new.
Rightfully so, yeah.
No wonder he kept it quiet.
Pete,
But the funny thing was, the Beatles, he was frightened of actually talking to the Beatles after that. And John turned around and told me a great story. He said they'd done one of the first recordings at BBC, the broadcasting company. And lo and behold, who's standing outside of BBC House? Mike Smith, right? So Mike is looking at the four Beatles, John, George, Paul and Ringo, and he's sort of thinking to himself and going, shall I say hello to them? So he picked up the courage, right? They turned around and said, hiya guys! And they all turned around and gave Mike Smith the royal salute. They all went.
Because we know what this means something totally different.
Yeah, this means something totally, for those of you who don't know.
Peace of love here. It's not
they get an extra one in England that we don't have here.
And that was the last concert I got.
Pete, I have a question. It's been said by many different authors that Brian Epstein was one who specifically chose the 15 songs for your audition for Decca. Is that a true statement, or what was the process behind those choice of songs? Because to me, and to some other people, it maybe wasn't the best choice to represent the Beatles' sound at that time.
Yeah, I mean, we basically went with what Brian said.
So Brian gave you a list and said, here's 15 songs.
Yeah, he thought the 15 songs were a good cross-section of what the Beatles could do. There was country and western, there was harmonies, there was, fun numbers like Three Cool Cats. original numbers like Dreamers Do, Hello Little Girl, and he thought that would impress Decca, right? But what he didn't realise was when Mike Smith actually came down and saw us at the cabin, he saw this great rock and roll band, right? That was blasting out, raucous, high-powered, high-velocity rock and roll, and that was what Mike wanted to hear at Decca Rock. But he never did. A lot of people turn around and say that choice went against us. Okay, but the other thing to remember is that in view of the fact Mike already had in his mind to sign Brian Poole and the Tremolos, it wouldn't have really made any difference what we played.
You guys could have come in and mock shout all you want, and it wouldn't have necessarily been much difference.
You're just talking about like Dreamers Do. You did 3 Lennon McCartney originals during those sessions. Was there a push on the part of John and Paul to get those originals in there? Or all 4 of you? Did you say, well, we want to be known for not just doing covers?
No, they were the first. I mean, the 3 originals that were on there, like Dreamers Do, Hello Little Girl, Look at the Look.
Hello Little Girl.
Hello Little Girl. They were the first original numbers that we actually played. Okay, so they were tried and tested, they went down well with the audience. And it was something which we were toying with the idea, if and when we got the recording contract with Decca, they'd be the original numbers. We wanted to record original numbers, we wanted to be different from every other band in Liverpool.
Right. Looking back, I mean, you also did a lot of other originals, even prior to when you joined the group. I mean, One After 909 was during that period. I mean, you could have picked that song like that, too.
Yeah, but, I mean, what we've done, and it was great because Paul used to introduce these numbers, right? Paul was the hard rock, and the lights would go down and Paul would be on stage and he'd basically turn around and pick out a beautiful looking girl who's sitting in the front row, and he'd suck up to her, right? And he'd sort of basically turn around and go like, and now I'd like to sing you a number. And the big brown eyes were fluttering like this, and of course the girl's going, ho, 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 ho.
Are you trying to say that
like
Paul,
Dreamers Do?
Are you trying to say Paul picked songs so he'd get laid?
Of course, yeah.
Wow. That was Rob, by the way.
You got a stoop here.
Well, should we? Should we?
Wow.
Should we pick a song now? Of the songs that you guys did that day, are there any ones in particular that stood in your mind as, this was something unique that the Beatles did, other than the originals? That was a real great example of what you felt the Beatles did on stage.
Yeah, the Ray Charles number. What did I say?
John?
Yeah, I mean, crowd participation number went down well in Germany. We took it back to Liverpool. The version we did, I mean, it was rocked up completely different from, the way Ray Charles did it. Right. But when it got to the, the audience response to it,
Right.
wow. Everyone would stand up, everyone would join in. When we were in Germany, John would be on the piano, right? And he'd jump on the piano, right? Every
Stage
night,
diving.
do the splits, split his jeans. Okay,
The first mosh pit.
first mock shot.
Now, what of the songs that you guys were doing at your stage act? Are there songs in particular that you thought transferred well when you guys did do them at the Decca audition? Ones that really kind of worked out well? So we want to let the folks here a treat and actually hear a piece of something.
We're going to play one. Pick a good one.
Three Cool Cats.
Three Cool Cats. So, Steve, if you're back there, if we could have a few moments, or track 18 on our hit parade. So here's, from those Decca auditions, a little bit of Three Cool Cats.